This is a time for justice. Welcome to today's show. As I do every year, I like to cover the Super Bowl commercials because there's tons of agendas behind it. You have to remember, the Super Bowl is the most watched show in America every single year. It gets over 100 million views, sometimes way more than that, depending on the year and the teams playing in it, I guess. But it is used as a massive propaganda tool. All of the commercials, people get all excited for the commercials. More people actually watch it for the commercials than the game because most people, the majority of people, I shouldn't say the majority, but I'd say half the people who watch it don't even know anything about football. They just, like hive mind sheep, have to watch the game because everybody else is watching the game, even though they know nothing about football, and they really watch it to see the commercials. And the mainstream media, Hollywood, the elites, they all work together to make sure the propaganda is pumped through not just the halftime show of the Super Bowl, but the commercials. The commercials all have agendas behind it. So I cover it every single year, and a lot of the agendas we see come to fruition. Now, I'll show you some of the commercials. You'll see some of the wicked agendas behind it, how subtly they do it. But again, this is because the most eyeballs are on this game. People are like, oh, it's all new commercials because, it's the Super Bowl. And they don't even think as to why these companies put these new commercials out. They put all this money into making new commercials, hiring celebrities, because they need to thicken the propaganda. They need to use the celebrity influence to influence the audience. So before I get into all the videos and clips from the videos and the agendas behind it, I'm just going to show you a montage now, just from 4 or 5 of the commercials that are already out there. You'll see black and white symbolism everywhere. You'll see it on the floor. You'll see it behind Adam Driver. You'll see people wearing black and white clothing. Remember, that's because all these commercials are brought to you by the occult. Black and white symbolism, as above, so below, duality. This is a color symbol scheme that they always use, and the Freemasons are obviously a part of that. You might say, I don't know what a Freemason is. Well, they're the people who pretend to be a fraternal order in your town, who pretend to be like a frat. People are like, oh, the Freemasons, they care about us. They care about the local hospitals, etc. They're out during charitable events, standing there with their weird hats on. Well, the reason they do that is to deceive you. What is taught in Freemasonry as you evolve and grow in degrees in Freemasonry is that Lucifer is the god of this world. All of the horrible things going on, all the people involved in it have gone through Freemasonry at some point in time. They're in different sectors of secret societies now because Freemasonry isn't the highest that there is, but they all are indoctrinated with Freemasonry, which means they are all indoctrinated with worshiping Lucifer and believing that they are gods here to rule among us. Those are basic themes of Freemasonry. So let's start. And again, there's a commercial promoting Jesus during the Super Bowl. I'm going to do a separate video because there's an agenda behind that. There always is. I mean, it's getting mainstream publicity all over the place. It's to persecute Christians more than it is to glorify Christ, whether that's the intentions of the people who made it or not. I'll get into that in a separate video. But of course that we have religious themes during the Super Bowl. We have Adam and Eve, right? But remember, all the people who make these commercials and all the people who are producers and executives at all these corporations, whether they're the marketing corporations or the brands themselves, they don't believe in God, right? They're all atheists. It's crazy to believe in God, but yet they constantly reference the Bible because all of this stuff is happening right in front of our faces. Just people still can't see that they're telling you that this is happening. They're telling you the truth, which is the Bible. They're always referencing the devil and God. They're always referencing things like Adam and Eve. So let's start there. Adam and Eve, of course, and what do? Well, they glorify the forbidden fruit. They glorify the forbidden fruit by Eve eating the quote-unquote avocado as the forbidden fruit. That's the fruit that they use in the commercial to represent it. Of course, people are like, you're taking this too seriously. But instead of being, what we know happened when Eve ate of the fruit, they use the opposite thing. They show the world that they actually want now, which is a utopian world. Everything is great thanks to Eve eating the forbidden fruit. And of course, everybody's walking around naked, right? Because this is really what they hope that the world will look like one day. And that's another part of the agendas with clothing. That's how sick and perverse these people are. But take a look at the Adam and Eve references.
Eve? What's going on?
I might have taken a small bite. Adam?
I'm naked! Hey! Try this! Avocados from Mexico! They make everything better!
Avocados from Mexico!
Well, it's another perfect day in the Big Avocado. Traffic is smooth, as always.
Yo, I love you!
No, I love you.
And in fashion news, naked continues to be all the rage.
It's an avocado. But it's also a phone.
You were right. Avocados from Mexico make everything better.
Ah, sweet liberty.
Now that's a tourist attraction.
Since time began, there has been one fruit with the ability to change the world. One fruit that can alter history with one small bite. One fruit with the ability to make everything better.
Avocados.
So again, they're pretty much saying that by Eve eating the fruit, it made things better. It made the world better. It was a good thing that Eve ate of the forbidden fruit. They make light of it. They make, they mock it. They make, that's the stuff that we always see them do, right? They make light of the Bible. They mock the Bible. They make it look like a joke. And they always do against God's will, right? And in this case, they're showing a world where Eve ate of the fruit and the world was a better place for it. What do you think they're trying to say? Now, those of us who are Christian, those of us who can see what's going on, this world couldn't be more wicked. And thankfully, those of us who are awake and are followers of Christ are not of this world, because this world is an absolute nightmare. So we have that. Let's continue and move on. We have subtle references to cannibalism. We always do. And people will say, hey, you're taking this too far. Well, when there's multiple commercials that reference eating people, then you should take note of that, because that's how they do it subtly. They're not going to have a commercial where celebrities are just dining like with Marina Abramovich eating one another, because then people might wake up and say, what's going on? They subtly plant seeds about cannibalism, and whether or not they think this is going to get people to be cannibals one day, or if it's just for them to give the middle finger and say, yeah, look at these people are so dumb, they don't know what's actually going on behind the curtain. Well, we know. So here are two commercials referencing eating people.
John?
Bree, wow, great to see you. In this giant fridge. Why are we here?
Well, I'm Bree.
Yeah, I'm John.
I know, but you're John who?
John Ham. We've met a million times.
Bree and?
John Ham. Oh, Bree and Ham. Ham and Bree. I get it. And Hellman's.
You know, it's a good thing you're handsome.
Thank you.
We are dinner.
Well, with Hellman's, we can really be anything. I mean, all these leftovers can, right? Is that Pete Davidson?
No food name.
He really is everywhere.
I'm gonna eat you guys. Panini? 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 Yes. You guys are really delicious.
Why are you dressed like it's 5 recessions ago?
Mr. Peanut. Mr. Peanut.
Mr. Peanut, what do you eat at parties? People?
Right, but I'm sure people will mock me and say, oh, you're really, it's a stretch on that. But they don't know how mind control works. Thus, they be people who are mocking me because they're hive-minded zombies who are just going along with thinking everything is a joke and not understanding how mind control works, not understanding Operation Paperclip and the reason after World War II we brought all of these scientists over here and they just began doing human behavior studies on people, studies on mind control, studies on trauma. All these things that now are implemented in our day-to-day lives. So, just subtle hints at cannibalism. As you know, I've covered it over the years, over and over again, because we see it all over the place. Another one of the commercials I wanted to cover real fast isn't something that's a big deal. We've seen this before from Doritos. You might remember the Dorito campaigns I covered in the past, where they were joking about the Illuminati. Well, you know that these are agendas, this could be an instance of just basic trolling anyway, which is how you desensitize people, how you weaken people, how you get people to think everything is a joke, which is pretty much what the Doritos commercials originally did with the Illuminati ads. Now they're doing the pyramid ads. And you also know that it's an agenda when the commercial has zero to do with the product. Zero, right? If you worked at a marketing company for M&Ms or Doritos, your mindset would be, how do we make this look more delicious than it is? How do we get people to want to go eat Doritos right now? There isn't even really a sign of Doritos in it. They might show Doritos here and there, like a Dorito, but it's about pyramids, right? And then, of course, they deflect and they're like, well, it's about pyramids because Doritos are shaped like pyramids. And it's just obviously a mockery about triangle, how people are carrying around triangle. It's really, you can just look for yourself and see it. So again, you even see the concerts and, Elton John. Of course, they pick Elton John. I won't get into that. Don't need another strike, but They have the pyramids behind them. People are carrying around triangles. It's just that is a way to just desensitize people. Like, they would want me to do a video, be like, look at the pyramids. Oh, they're all in the Illuminati. You know, that's kind of like what they expect, a sensationalized reaction. What it is just a dumbing down. It's normalizing occult symbolism. It's normalizing those things and then making people think that everything is a big joke and a conspiracy because they expect people like us to talk about it. But in reality, what it is just a mind control operation. So you have that stupid commercial about the pyramids and the Doritos and the triangles. Not funny at all. Complete waste of time. And for those of us with eyes to see and ears to hear, we know exactly why they did it.
It's just not right. Nah, I need to try something new.
You gonna quit rap for a triangle?
I gotta do me, Missy.
No. It's ding, 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 not ding, 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 ding.
Jack Harlow did it again.
Ting, ting, ting. Yes, that's it.
America has a case of triangle fever.
Everybody, we are sold out of triangles, but we still have cowbells?
The triangle has replaced the British pound.
Triangle by Harlow.
And Triangle Player of the Year goes to Elton John!
Another one of the agendas, which I'll show quickly, which we all know, is the electric vehicle. Last year, they did the same thing. They are obsessed with the electric vehicle. People don't realize it has nothing to do with your safety, of course, because we've seen, thousands of electric vehicles that just seem to be catching fire all the time, but they don't mention that in the news, how much more dangerous they are. And I'm not talking about dangerous on the road, whereas, your car might not be charged. You might just pull over on the side of the road and run out of energy with your car. No, I'm talking about literally, if you have a gas-powered car sitting in your garage, you're probably not going to worry about blowing up unless Tony Soprano is coming and putting something in the tailpipe. In this case, your electric vehicle could just be parked in your driveway and explode. We've seen it happen all over the place. But they don't talk about that in the mainstream because they don't want people to be fearful. They want people on board. And why do they want people on board? Because electric vehicles are controllable vehicles. They are vehicles that you will have no control over. All of this will be controlled through a higher tower, a higher power, so to speak, here on Earth. You think that you'll be driving around and somebody won't be able to shut your car off? And it's also to monitor, of course, and track you and make sure that you can't go too far without a charge. And then, once you hit your mile limit, you won't be able to charge your car. It won't be able to charge until a certain date. This is all about control. That's all it's ever been about. And, here's some of the electric vehicle propaganda garbage that's out there, trying to make it look cool. Like, hey, I got an electric vehicle. Yeah? Well, congratulations on being a loser.
General Motors is going electric, and by including more EVs in their movies and shows, the least they can do. If you're being voluntarily kidnapped, why not be kidnapped in an EV? Now, should they add EVs everywhere? They shalln't.
You might know me. I used to be that mean kid. And now I'm in Popeye's big game ad. It's got all those things those ads have, like a nice ride. Electric, of course.
So the electric vehicle programming, always there. Then we have a few other ones. I wanted to cover this, I think it's called Dexcom. Hashtag, of course, Dexcom, the link is Dexcom/Magic. And what do we have? Well, we have the commercial starting off with the 666 as they show you this diabetes tracker. Remember, I've said this over and over again, one of the ways they're going to lure people into the mark, because it's going to be inside your body, is by the technology on your skin, the wearable technology, and then being able to track this technology, get used to tracking it on your phone, and eventually this will all be in you. You won't have to worry about wearing it on your skin. So this is supposed to track your diabetes and your insulin and all that stuff, and it's getting promoted by a Jonas brother. Of course, remember the Jonas brothers proudly wearing their Aleister Crowley shirts. I've exposed them many times over. But take a look at this, and this is just more precursor, getting people prepared for the mark.
Is the next big thing.
I wanna make it go up.
The all-new Dexcom G7 for all types of diabetes. It shows your glucose, predicts where it's headed, and tracks your success, just like that. Not magic, just feels that way. Dexcom, powerful, simple diabetes management.
I mean, if you can't see it, he even bursts into black smoke, where we've seen the black smoke all the time, right? That black substance that they want, because it's going to have everything to do with getting that type of technology inside of your body, making your body compatible with tech and Bluetooth and everything else. So it wasn't a coincidence, and it's not a coincidence either that their link that they leave is Dexcom/Magic. So that the wearable technologies to prepare you for the mark, to prepare you for wearing it on your skin and eventually having it inside of your body. And last but not least that I'm going to cover is Singularity and cloning. Two topics I've covered. I just did a video on Singularity. Unfortunately, the channel got taken down with the video, but they're talking about how we're closer to Singularity, which would mean that technology has surpassed humans, and we're already beyond that. They just don't tell people that yet. Now they're preparing people for that. And what we see in this commercial is two things. We see Singularity being pushed. We also see cloning, right? A technology that we know that they have. You've seen my videos, even just showing you Bill Clinton talking about human cloning back in the 90s. Well, we're in the 2020s now. We're way beyond that. That's 30 plus years ago where they were talking about cloning children. Those are other videos I'll cover later in the week on some stuff that's come out about cloning and about gene editing. But here is Singularity, and here is, of course, Adam Driver with clones. They are starting to just kind of make light of cloning and those types of things by just subtly placing these things right in front of our faces.
Squarespace is a website that makes websites. Meaning it could create itself. Websites making websites. Websites making websites.
It's the Singularity.
You did it, Adam Driver.
Hi, Adam. Nice to meet you.
Action.
How do you like being on set?
How do I like? Oh, I love it. I love it. You get to see the world and meet really great people.
Hi, could you move a little bit?
And say things that are written by
Thank you.
people smarter than you. It's really fun.
And how familiar are you with Squarespace?
Oh,
Websites.
I'm not. This is for Squarespace.
What, can you say your question again? Sorry.
I'm not.
What's it been like acting opposite Adam Driver?
Honestly, exciting. Honestly, I thought it was going to be really great because I don't like any other actors. So the idea that I can just act with myself for the first time, I can control the pace of the set.
Websites! Websites make websites!
I went to Juilliard. Did you know that? And it's really difficult. It's the top tier of the acting world. So I couldn't find it. It was kind of... Neil? So it was kind of hard to go within myself to find all these people. It was one of the hardest things that I ever had to do in my life.
Say that again.
So what's next for you?
Me. Painting. I'm a big painter. No one knows this about me, but I like painting and nut farming. Websites.
What's your favorite website?
I don't look at websites.
So again, cloning and Singularity are things that are here. What they have to do is get people used to this type of tech. People are going to be so desensitized that they won't even blink at the notion of cloning. They'll think it's the coolest thing ever. I mean, when I think about cloning and things like that, I think of like Pet Sematary, when they buried the cat, then the cat came back evil, right? They buried the kid came back evil. Almost like people are going to think that the technology of cloning is going to be good. They're not going to realize all it is the visibility of the person, right? Which they can do, but it's not going to be the same person. There's going to be no soul in these things. The things are going to be demon-possessed, walking around. So anyway, I won't go on a deep rant about cloning. I wanted to cover those topics. Those are things that I obviously always cover, and you can see them being pushed at the Super Bowl, right? Getting people desensitized, getting people prepared. We'll go through it again, right? We saw the black and white symbolism, but we had the Adam and Eve references, right? How Eve eating of the fruit, there was a better world because of it. We had cannibalism references where people will obviously not take that serious, and they'll say that I'm crazy, but that's fine. You know, you have to watch all these things closely, and when you see repetition, you see it multiple times. Like, oh, the peanut, he's going to eat people. And oh, look, it's, I forget the guy's name, but the guy who dated Kim Kardashian, Pete Davidson. And, you know, a guy who has been thrown around with the elites while he was a child, of course, and has Hillary Clinton's tattoo on him. You're wondering why he has that on him? This guy has been when he was young, all around, you know, this guy ain't famous because he's funny. Let's be real. And you could tell he's really messed up. Well, that's because he's gone through it. But anyway, he's just eating, you know, other actors. That's the joke, is he's eating people. I mean, you know, nobody looks at this and thinks it's funny. I mean, seriously, I'm not saying that because I'm trying to be cool and be like, oh, none of these people are funny. I mean, some stuff that, you know, sometimes I'll laugh at, and not very often anymore. But I mean, there's nothing funny about either of those commercials. Mr. Peanut getting roasted with human cannibalism references, or Pete Davidson referencing eating I mean, it's the stupidest commercial. Like, if you're going to pay all that money and get those actors, you could have done something 10 times better. But they obviously want that stuff out there. You have your electric vehicles again. They're going to push it. They're going to push it every year. They're going to push it over and over again. But people aren't going to be on board. I guarantee you. And people realize, and more people are going to realize and see some of the stuff with these vehicles exploding and be afraid to put their family in it. Only ones that are really going to be on board are obviously libs, who will do whatever they're told. So they're foregone, useless at this point. Then you have Dexcom, again, getting people prepared for the mark. We have technology on your skin, and the Singularity Cloning videos. I'm sure there's many other ones too that I could cover, but those are the ones I wanted to. If I see more or go through more, I'll put separate videos out. Again, I'm going to cover the Jesus video in a separate video, and then the agendas behind it. But I thank everyone for being here. I hope you're all doing well. God bless you and your families.